Hello everyone, and it is I, Ryan, also known as the Lovebat, and I welcome you all back to the next episode in our journey in my Let's Play of Pathfinder Kingmaker. So, last time we were up to quite a few things. We are now at this place called Old Sycamore, and we are going to be in for quite a treat, I imagine, since we are sort of tracking our arch nemesis, or our rival as the game kind of calls it, Tartuccio, who has been revealed to be a kobold named Tartuk. Now, what this Tartuk really wants, I mean, we only know that he wants some kind of artifact of some kind, and that really, he is just an evil, arrogant douche. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. That's not exactly surprising. But what is surprising is the fact that we found him in a tomb. He was looking for something. He may or may not have found it, or maybe he found a piece of something, and yada yada. But he was with Jathil and Harim, who were the other two sorts of characters that were around in the tutorial section. They didn't join us because we were too goody two-shoes for them. And so we were able to convince Harim to abandon Tartuccio and join us. At least he can go ahead and help us, even if we don't necessarily like him all that much. Like, he's a bit of a whiner. He has a death wish. He wants to die. His god demands that everything come to an end. But, yeah, we're going to need to go ahead and keep him along here, and hopefully things will be good enough to where we'll be able to get along, and then we'll also go ahead and take care of Tartuccio, or Tartuk, as we now know him as. And we also got some cryptic hints last session from an NPC named Remus, and he told us a couple of things about, you know, who that rules the stolen lands or whatever. At least the hints that we got maybe indicate that becoming the ruler of the stolen lands will bring about pain and death. You'll inherit that. You'll inherit those negative traits, I guess, as a result of inheriting the stolen lands. So you inherit the pain and the death of the land. But kind of cryptic, but I guess you can kind of infer what he means in some ways. And he also told us sort of directly, he gave us some information, hard information, that Tartuccio was in a tomb somewhere and directed us in that direction, which led to us tracking him down, doing battle with some of his mercenaries, and then we tracked him out of a cave into a ravine of some kind, and some kind of battle took place. Illusion magic happened, transformations, kobolds, oh my, lots of things happened. And then we tracked him after finding out his identity, and we tracked that he was going to be heading here. And I guess, again, looking for something like an artifact. So now we're on the trail, and we're here to go ahead and deal with him once and for all. And we encountered Keston Gares right at the end of the session, who said that that guy, that little Tartuccio, has given them no end of trouble, and that they finally learned that he, in fact, was the spy that was sent to take care of that basically set things loose in the Jamandi Aldori mansion at the beginning of the game, and all the ambushes and the assassins and stuff that happened in the tutorial sort of section were a result of Tartuccio being a spy from Pitax, which is a basically a nation that's full of scum and villainy. And so, yeah, so now we're on the way to take care of Tartuccio here. So after taking a deep breath now, let's go ahead and get things started here at Old Sycamore, which is like looks like a gigantic tree from its icon on the world map. And we saw a giant frog over yonder and examined it last time, but now we're fresh. We're going to go ahead and get things started for this adventuring day. So we have what looks like some kobolds, I think, are here that we saw last time. I'm not quite sure what these are just yet. Cowardly traitors! Sons of a pike! Return the relic! coward! Turn! Alec! Silly, silly kobold. Go look your relic, your dungeon. Look under bed, under table. Ha ha! Silly kobold have no bed and no table? Search your eggs! You lose relic and blame mites. Accuse queen. So I guess these guys here that look like they have definitely a different physical stature from the kobolds. These are mites, I guess. I guess mites are kind of initially different from how I imagined that they would be from my experience with some other fantasy games, but you know, we'll go ahead and get the ball rolling with them. Lies! Chief Scale, not silly! The kobold leader shakes his weapon at the insult. Lies! Chief Scale! The kobold crier diligently copies the words and gestures of the chief, swinging his weapon. It seems both groups are but a breath away from battle. Such hubris in such small and simple creatures. But are our own monarchs any better? So warlike! It's like a miniature version of the Taldan Imperial Chronicles. Alright, well stop. What's going on here? This looks like a precursor to conflict. The little mite jumps in place. Stranger! Stranger! You see? Yes? So the kobold attack might! Insult us! Our magnificent queen! Lies! Might! Thief! Steal relic from kobold! We revenge! Help us, stranger! Alright, so we got some interesting dialogue options here. So, kobolds, tell me more about what happened here. I, chief. I name Scale. Kobold and might live here long peace. Long live peace. But now, might thief, steal our relic. Thief, steal, relic. Echoes the crier enthusiastically. Okay, so what is how do you know this relic that you're talking about was stolen by the mites? Might tricksy, but Chief Scale's more tricksy. I call, new shaman come. Shaman Tartuk know who stole relic. Tartuk good. Okay, so our Tartuccio, or also known as Tartuk, is at it again, lying and cheating and stealing and doing whatever he can to, well, he has other people at odds at each other, and he's probably distracting, giving himself an opening to do as he pleases because he's just a lying sack of scum, basically. Tartuk! Good! Good! What is this relic that you speak of? Relic key! Kobold take relic. Enter sacred hall. Alright, did you really attack the mites here, Chief Scale? Revenge! Mite coward! Kobold come, mite run! We come, take them relic, go! That they give the relic back to us. Give back our relic. We give back there. And where is Shaman Tartuk now? Shaman was dungeon. Did not enter sacred hall. Might collapse our entrance. Kobold wrath might. I hate to break this to you, but Tartuk is not a real kobold. He deceived all of you. Scale not stupid. He no real kobold. The chief puffs up his chest, rejecting the insult, as if that were an insult. Alright, it's clear to me now what the kobolds think. Help kobold! Kobold strong! Fierce! Alright, let's ask the mites about what they have in on their mind here. A small mite bows comically. I send a show of magic. Here our magnificent warrior queen, Bada! He points at his large companion, adorned with the hide of a wolf. Queen defeats scary wolf battle, vanquish 100 enemies, charm 100 hearts. Queen Bada allow you to speak her. May sit, we understand, he says generously. Legs tremble when we see such beauty. My queen, why did you fight the kobolds? The Mite Queen shakes her head sadly. We live here long, kobolds and mites. We live peace, friends, trade. Together hunt good shaggy animal, good it, sweet. Long ago, Chief, Kobold, and our old king make good alliance. 2 branch old sycamore we take, charm and give each to other. This be relic, kobold have one, might have one. Not long ago, kobold come, yell we thief. Take our relic, silly kobold. So apparently, our friend Tartuk is kind of really getting everyone at odds of each other, so that way, again, he can kind of keep the heat off of himself and any appearance of impropriety or him being up to no good, distracting the kobolds and doing stuff, I imagine, to get them to start a war with each other, give them more reason to listen to Tartuk. So why do you need the relic? 2 relic! They key. Give entrance to Sacred Hall. There, under Old Sycamore. 1 key for kobold, 1 key for mite. Each can go hall. All fair. Why do the kobolds think the relic was stolen by the mites? Kobold chief, silly, ugly, old. Seneschal and other mites giggle at these words. He lose last mind. Listen, new shaman Tartuk. Shaman not so ugly. Bada smacks her lips in approval. But angry, tricksy, say wicked mite. I catch him and make crown from his scale. Pretty crown, purple. Alright, so do you know where this purple-scaled shaman is now, or dear Tartuk? He proud dungeon near our house. When he see once, but not catch. We see he once, but not catch. Want find shaman, look underground. Very well, I have no more questions for you, Queen Bada. Queen Bada nods with a cleanly air. Stranger good. Fight kobold with me. Win. Come in my chamber. We make feasts. Play music. Throw knife and fury. Squirrel. Sweet. Throw knife and furry squirrel. Sweet. Oh, man. Okay. I mean, you should make peace and search for this relic together. I mean, why not? You know, make peace with each other. Never! The chief hisses in animal rage. Death to traitors! The Mite Queen swings her blade. We know retreat. Choose who supports, stranger or enemy, us all. Well, this is certainly an interesting little predicament here. Might require a little pondering here, I guess. So Alyrra's pondering here, I guess. I would hear my companion's advice and see what they have to think. Why support either? Do you think they'll ever listen to you? Let us battle these little ones, both groups, and be done with it. It's up to you, but we should remember that living among such creatures could be dangerous. The kobold and mites are aggressive, poorly organized, and unreliable. It's better to exile them, or not to interfere, lest we're entangled in their unworthy deeds. Well, it's certainly an interesting, way of looking at it. I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick pause here. I gotta blow my nose real quick, and I don't want to disturb you viewers and your speakers or your headphones with my nose blowing. So let me clear my nose for just 1 second. Alright, and then we are back from our momentary break here, and so I've been pondering, and Alyrra has been pondering this decision because this is going to I imagine this is going to affect the entire area here at Old Sycamore and what happens. So, the way I'm thinking about it is that the kobolds have already been sort of influenced by Tartuk, and I'm not really sure siding with the kobolds is a good idea, because they're already influenced by Tartuk. There's probably not much that we can do. Maybe we can find Tartuk a bit quicker if we side with them, maybe, but the way I see it is that they're the ones that are accusing the Mites of stealing something. From our vantage point, we don't think that the Mites have really stolen anything. They've just been attacked. They might be monstrous creatures, and ideally we just want peace. That's what we kind of want. But they're having none of it. We can't really influence them to peace. They want to come to blows. We could say that they're just all disgusting. I don't want to help either of you, but I'm not sure if that really gets us anywhere. It doesn't really seem like something that we'd want to do here. So I'll just side with the Mites, and because at the very least they do not seem like the aggressors in this conflict. The kobolds claim that they stole the relic. Chances are it was just Tartuk who took something and said that the Mites stole it and claimed he was a shaman and all this other different stuff, making distractions and giving himself an opening for who knows what. So I side with the Mites and Queen Bada. You interfere in a war you have no stake in. I hope you know what you are doing. I know what I'm doing, Valerie, and just trust my judgment, I hope. Sweet! Stranger, go my cave chamber. Talk. Kobold, be afraid! Insult! Blood! Wash out! Okay then, so I guess that takes care of that. So now we have to deliver Tartuccio to Keston Gares, our old guard friend, dead or alive. And I guess here is where you, I never really explored it before, but again, everything's sort of told from Lindsay's perspective, which may or may not be something that interests you. Usually I prefer it to just be from the main character's perspective, because that's usually how other games do it, and it's usually preferable because then they don't shoehorn, say, an NPC that you don't like into the perspective and the narrative and all that. But yeah, so this is Lindsay's journal, and this has all the quests and missions and stuff that you can do. Alright, so we already did all that, and the check mark indicates something that you've already completed to 100% basically. Okay, so Svetlana's ring, we gotta do that. We gotta get some fangberries on the way back to Oleg's trading post at some point. Let's see, he wanted us to get some moon radishes, and so often attracts kobolds, so that seems to indicate that if we go where some kobolds are, like here at Old Sycamore, maybe we'll find some. And then here's the soft time limit that you're in that I mentioned last episode. You do have a soft time limit. I guess at the start of the time limit it was probably 90 days, I imagine. I thought it was originally 2 months, but I guess it's more 3 months. And I just misremembered it. But yeah, we want to go ahead and get this done as soon as possible for a variety of reasons. Make sure that we don't have to go back and do it, for one. And then two, if we take care of it now, then we can explore more of the map later and do some other cool things. So we gotta find Tartuccio and take care of him later on. I suppose after we take care of this mess, we'll go ahead and be able to go ahead and take care of the Stag Lord and his ruffians. So, and then yeah, so we have some fatigue here because we haven't rested in a while, and we traveled all the way to Old Sycamore. So if we get into combat here, we'll be at a bit of a disadvantage, but that's not too bad, at least, because we're we're still fairly strong characters mechanically for the most part, and we can have Valerie go up there and take the heat off of us. Alright, so let's get in here, and I suppose we'll get some experience points, and we'll also get a good deal of stuff going on here as far as maybe loot. Okay. Let's take care of him. So yeah, apparently the mites are decently strong there. I think they had the upper hand in that fight. And I guess they're going off and kind of disappearing, and kind of a scripted event there, I guess, but all's well that ends well, I suppose. Let's go ahead and quick save our game here. And another part of the reason why I save my game so often is because sometimes if glitches or crashes or unexpected things happen, it's kind of nice to be able to easily backtrack in your game. So I like to do it just in case. Alright, so we have an athletics check here. I don't know who's the best at it. It's a very high DC. Oh, wrong button. Let's see, not you. Not you. Maybe you if we take your armor off. Not you. And probably not you. Okay, so Miri might be able to do this, and we can give her some guidance with a spell. So this is one of the few occasions where I might decide to go ahead and do a bit of the save scumming just so I can experience the game. Unfortunately, there are some downsides to failing skill checks in this game. Some of them are quite severe consequences or repercussions. In particular, the whole lockpicking thing, where if you fail a lockpick, then you can't pick it again until you gain a level. So, in some cases, I will end up doing things like this to try and succeed at skill checks or things like that. Okay, let's give her a bit of guidance here. Then let's go ahead and get... Oops. I just want to do a little bit of a quick save here. And then let's get in there. See if we can do it. And she succeeded. Took her armor off and she rolled a natural 20 and she came through. Alright, that is quite nice. Do I have to make an athletics check to get back down? I guess I do, but I guess it's like an automatic success because I already climbed up here successfully, so... Alright, I will consider that a victory. There we go. Okay, let's see what we can find over here. Let's do another quick save real quick. I'm not sure what's over here. Hide it! Queen Bada never find it! Treasure heavy! Aye! Protect treasure! Okay, so we have, I guess even though we sided with the mites, I guess these guys are just kind of, they don't want anyone knowing about this treasure and they'll fight for it. Apparently, even though they're outgunned and outnumbered, so... Gotta give them that much, they don't want anyone to have their treasure. Well, since we're going through a whole lot of missing, I might need to go ahead and help our guys out a little bit. Do I have any magic that can help? I guess we have Bless. I guess we can do some Bless and then maybe some Inspiration here. might at least allow us to start hitting some people. And I guess you can see reduced. That means that some creatures or enemies do have damage reduction, so that's something you have to worry about. Some kinds of characters have an easier time getting through damage reduction. I know that archer characters, for example, there's a feat you can take to where it makes it much easier to get through damage reduction. Come on, you guys, you can do it. I don't want to run out of courage too soon. There we go. Alright, let's see what they have on them. Let's see, just some basic gear. And then we won that combat, so we'll do another quick save. And I guess since Lindsay's going over there, that means that it has to be a lock that needs to be picked. So that means that we need some guidance here. Alright, so let's save it. And then Lindsay, go do it. Yes. Braces of armor +1 and a cold iron dagger +1. Alright. So I think we found a halfway decent finesse weapon for our character to use. Cold iron is like a different kind of weapon. It's kind of like I mean, it's like a different coating, sort of, so to speak. It also gives it different properties. You can go to info here. This iron, mined deep underground and known for its effectiveness against demons and fey creatures, is forged at a lower temperature to preserve its delicate properties. So it's kind of like you have silvered weapons in D&D, or you can also have silvered weapons in this game, I also think. You have silvered, you have mithril, you have like adamantine, different things like that. Cold iron is kind of like a different subset of all that. So it's like a different kind of weapon there. This is a prime finesse wielding weapon for you to use, so let's go ahead and give it to you. So you already have a +1 weapon anyway, and so do you. You have a masterwork weapon, so that's quite nice. Alright, so now if I need to switch to melee, I have a halfway decent weapon here to use. And then we are going to go ahead and heal a little bit. Alright, we have healed, and we got our stuff from there. Also, one thing that I noticed is that I forgot to go over the bracers here. We have bracers of armor. So this provides an armor bonus similar to, like it says, the mage armor spell. So it won't stack with wearing armor or some kinds of protective magic, but it is a way for you to go with unarmored defense without actually having to wear armor, which if you have a low strength score, then you can go ahead and wear braces of armor instead, and it means lower encumbrance, not having to wear armor, or maybe you can wear robes or something like that instead of armor. So yeah, you can go ahead and do some nice things with this. And that's actually prime fit for my character because they have a low strength and they're planning on having an armored defense with Monk later. And so kind of being a sort of agile, finesse type person. And bracers of armor, I believe, do stack with things like unarmored defense from like Monk and the like. And of course it is starting to rain now, so that's a big strain on our visibility right now, unfortunately. The main problem with the rain is that it's going to affect your perception checks, and that makes it a bit harder. Yeah, so it makes it a lot harder to spot hidden things here on the map. So this might actually be a decent spot for us to just go ahead and rest. So let's go and quick save it again, and we're going to go ahead and rest and make camp. Alrighty then, so let's go ahead and let's pause the game here real quick so I can blow my nose. Alright, nose blowing complete, and now we can get to our resting. And so we can manage here, since we have an additional party member. We will want Harim to be able to do something here. Let's go ahead and put you in your special role to, you can maintain armor with Valerie, so it gives her an additional +1 bonus to her AC within the first battle, and you can get some additional battles that it'll affect as you gain higher levels. So it's actually very useful for her to be able to do that before a boss battle or a big battle that you think might be coming up, so she can get more AC for that battle. And so he'll reduce the chance of monsters coming at us in the middle of the night. Lindsay will give everyone more of a bonus to all of their skills that they try and do in making camp, which is interesting. And it rises, as it said before, when she gains enough levels, the bonus to that will rise even more. You have no special role because you're the main character. You don't get one of those, but you can, at the very least, you get to custom tailor your skills, so you can be good at any one of these roles. And then Amiri will sharpen her weapons and gain an additional +1 damage to the damage rolls of that weapon. But she's easily the best as far as nature goes, I think. Is he better at nature? He's not yet. So yeah, we're going to have her do the hunting. I don't know if we want to have someone help her, I guess, with that. Valerie, you can go ahead and take special role. You're not going to be very good at perception, so we want to get the hunting done, or we can go ahead and try and get the saving throw bonus again from the hearty meal. So you do have options when you rest. I think I'm going to go with this. I'm not going to bother with camouflage. We don't have very many people that are good with stealth anyway. Harim will be on one watch, and if something tries to attack us during that watch, then he'll have a decent perception. Then can we quick save here? We cannot quick save, so let's press the escape key. Quick save it here, and then we can, I assume, click on our camp again. There we go, and now let's go ahead and see how this goes.
Had I not met Grotus's followers in my darkest hour, I might have taken the same path as you.
I don't think of it as a path. The gods simply don't have a place in my life, that's all. And if you were disappointed in the gods, you would be preaching atheism as passionately as you preach the teaching of Grotus.
And you'll also go ahead and use all of your healing magic or abilities to heal everyone when you rest, so that way you don't have to worry too much about your hit point total and wasting magical abilities before you finish the rest. So that's quite nice that the game does that for you. So it took him 7 hours to get 5 rations. I'm good with that. And then we ended up getting a good hearty meal, so we get the saving throw bonus for a while here. Alright, this is a good time to swig some of my orange juice after a good fresh rest. Alrighty then. So I guess we have Valerie and Harim had a bit of a conversation there. There will be some conversations that may take place occasionally between your companions when you rest. Alright, let's just go ahead and cast Bless at the start of battle here. And have you guys take some formation here, so that way you're within range of Bless. If you hold the right click button, you can arrange your formation around on this little swivel here. So it is a bit of a nice feature to where if you want someone to line up in a particular way, you can do this with the right click button. There we go. Now let's get in there. Figured I have plenty of castings of Bless for now. So I might as well just go ahead and use one. So you don't use that. We're not going to waste that on kobolds for now. Alright, well we're smashing these kobolds pretty good here. Come on, let's pick it up. There we go. Let's get all their stuff. Walk around here and see if we can find anything hidden amongst the rubble of the rocks. Apparently nothing there for now. Oh, looks like we have some more kobolds over here. And some mites. Let's go for the shaman first. It's always good to take out the spellcasters. I wonder what kind of spell that the shaman casted. Casting Cause Fear, and I guess Valerie succeeded on her will saving throw. Quite nice. I didn't mean to try and do that, but clicked on one of the corpses by accident and ended up looting it. Alright, so doing some battle with kobolds here. Obviously if we sided with the kobolds, then we'd be fighting the mites instead with the kobolds. Looks like we have the signs of battle over here. Let me go and explore the edge of the map first and see what we find. So we have some elk here, and you can go ahead and you can hunt wild animals, I guess, and you can get their hides and also some meat from them. So it's it's something worth doing. Let's go ahead and give ourselves some guidance, that way we can start off the battle hopefully pretty well here. And then why not? Alright, let's get in there. And so as you can see here, both of them are fighting defensively. Whoops, pressed the wrong button. There's the hotkey I wanted. So he has 20 AC fighting defensively, which isn't bad, and then she has 28 AC fighting defensively. Very, very good. So I'm gonna try and have them both be sort of shield-wielding AC tanks over there for us. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and give Amiri some guidance here. Guess maybe hurrying too if I need it. And we're going to go ahead and quick save it here. Because you can go ahead and interact with these things, and it gives you the skin option, which allows you to use a nature check with a certain amount of DC to it, depending on the quality of the hide you're trying to get. And you can skin them for hides, which you can sell to merchants. Now, they do take up a bit of weight, but they're pretty good selling material. And then you have meat here, which you get regardless, that can be used for cooking and also for selling. Alright, we were successful getting one of them, but not the other. That's unfortunate, but we got one of them, so that'll have to do. Then you can go in here, and elk hide gives us 5 gold. It weighs 8 pounds, but if you can make the weight work, or if you have characters of high strength, you can carry lots of items that give you some extra gold to work with. And obviously, if we're carrying a whole lot, then we can go ahead and kind of just offload it, then come back and get the rest of it at some point if we're trekking around on the world map. Just doing a bit of exploring here just to see if I found anything, or if I would find anything else with the perception, finding hidden items or objects lying around. And like one example of why I want to do that is because of this. If you find more fragments of these sorts of items, I guess, then you can end up putting them together later. Once you find the appropriate person that can help put them together for you, that's interested in that kind of thing. And usually the only way to get all of the pieces of that is to yeah, you basically just have to go ahead and search around everywhere and look at every nook and cranny. Alright, so let's save the game here, because it looks like there's like some kind of nature check here. Let's see what this is all about. Died of unknown causes. Alright, well I just want to show off that what the nature check does for you if you succeed. This is a bit ominous too, from what I understand. We read about Will-O-Wisps in one of the books that we had, or that we received. Yeah, that we got back at Oleg's trading post. I think that we sold it for money, so we don't have it anymore, but they are mentioned in that one book that we had. The dead man's face is set in a mask of terror. The body is covered with burns. So it gives you kind of the clue of what maybe happened to these people. It probably wasn't kobolds. I mean, maybe one of their shamans might have been able to burn them, I guess. But they have some items on them, which is, I guess, kind of nice. We have a magic dueling sword here. So yeah, that's an exotic weapon, and something that's hard to get proficiency with, but there is a fighter subclass that can allow you to get that. As far as like a free proficiency without needing to spend a feat for it, that is. Okay, looks like we're finding some things around here. Some people look like they died a very painful death over here. They have some valuables that apparently whatever killed them didn't take their valuables for some reason, so and then we have a thing that I assume most chests are going to be locked, and Lindsay's going to have to pick them open. So let's do the good old quick save again. And she did it. Ah, she just barely got there. Alright. So we have a silver chain, scabbard, some eggs for cooking, and then some gold. Not bad. So as you can see, the weight is certainly adding up. 666, not ominous at all there. But yeah, the weight's adding up. We are getting some money, though, from looting places around here. Maybe looting's not the proper term, but we're finding and coming across loot. And slowly but surely we're getting money out of it. And we have many things that we can sell. Many things that are heavy, like armor, for example. But later we can offload them, and then perhaps we can come back and get the rest of the stuff that we didn't take. And let's go ahead and save our game here now that we took care of that. Now I just want to go and show you guys something here. You can have the option to check out what's going on over here. There are enough supplies to encamp once. So you can go ahead and you can spend the night here. And again, the game kind of hints that these people that were over here, I suppose, with these supplies, they ended up dying here. It's kind of vague exactly what might have caused it. But, yeah, if you succeed on the nature check, you get some hints that they were burned by something. So I don't know what that exactly means. It could mean magic. Maybe a wizard ambushed them. I don't know. So, yeah, let's, again, quick save it here. I think I already quick saved it, but I'll just do it again just for posterity and good measure. And show you what happens when you spend the night here. So yeah, the fear of a paladin apparently tastes very delicious to this Viscount Smolderburn, who is very dexterous and has a super high initiative count, though I just barely edged him out. And she failed on her inspect roll. So this, from what I understand, is a Will-O-Wisp that we've seen in the loading screen a bit. We saw mention of it, and then in one of the books that we had, we again saw mention of it, and they feed off of the fear of others. This is something that's sort of like a beginner's trap. You think you can rest here without having to deal with nonsense like this. This is just like, I think it's bad game design. Like, I understand that in the real world or in a tabletop game things like this might happen, but in a tabletop game you have the option to run away, to retreat, to come back when maybe you're strong enough to face such a foe. But here in this game you don't really have the option of retreating. You aren't going to be fast enough. You can't use obstacles to hide or stealth or do things like that. You are just totally fucked. So I'll show you what happens when you try and fight him. So people, they fail saving throws because this guy has... let me go ahead and just show you here. So high difficulty, high DC saving throw. Somehow I failed my will saving throw despite having very good modifiers. One more level and I'd be immune to this fear type effect. So yeah, he tries to scare the daylights out of everyone. Once my paladin is level 3, that would be less of an issue, but he is just... Right now we're just running around like chickens with our heads cut off. We're probably going to trigger other encounters on the map or different things like that. Because I have no control over my character, because they have a fear effect on them, even with their super high saving throws. And so my character just got their shit kicked in, everyone else is still running around like an idiot. And we are just doing jack all against this guy. Basically, if you get within melee range, you are toast for the most part. And so he's doing a bunch of electric damage to us. So yeah, you can see that if you try and get into battle with this guy, it is just a slow, agonizing death. So I wouldn't recommend it unless you come explicitly prepared for this kind of thing. Like if you have potions that give you like electricity resistance or immunity or damage reduction, you could fight him. If you have like a scroll of protection from electricity, which I think is a thing that you can get at some point, then you could fight him. But if you try and fight him at this low level without being prepared, yeah, this encounter basically just means certain death. And it's the game designer choice to make a beginner's trap. When you first play the game, you have hints that something bad happened to these people, but you don't know what, and you don't know that it's going to be something that's going to just automatically kill you. Which is why I recommend saving your game often in an RPG, because otherwise you can encounter beginner's traps like this to where you get yourself sort of really kicked in the tail, and then you are just shit out of luck. So I always recommend saving your game often before doing anything that seems notable. And again, this is a game made in 2018. Stuff like this shouldn't be in the game, but here it is. They put a beginner's trap in there that can just kill you outright. Now, once you figure out what the encounter is, like, oh, okay, now you know what you encounter, then maybe you can come back here when you're a level or two higher. You can have items to protect you from electricity that he's trying to hit you with. Maybe you have a paladin that has like an aura to help you out against the fear-based effects, or something that makes you immune to fear, like spells. Yeah, so if you go there prepared, you might have a chance of just, beating him and taking care of him. But for now, it's a beginner's trap, and you should avoid it at all costs. So, Owlcat Games, I don't know why you did that. I know that you probably did it to make a point that you're low-level adventurers and you're not going to be able to beat everything, but imagine if you're doing the mode, the Paslanti mode, where you have only one save slot. Imagine if you auto-save the game. Like, I don't know how Paslanti mode works with the auto-saving and only one save slot. But imagine if the autosave happens right after the rest finishes with that event, and then you get thrust into the encounter with this guy that just beats the ever-loving shit out of you, and you have no way of beating him, and the only save slot that you have is right after you're getting ready to, or right before you're getting ready to fight him, after you finish the rest. Like, that is just so cheap, and it would force you to play through like another couple hours of the game for nothing. So shame on you, Owlcat, for doing that shit to people. Again, I love this game, but Owlcat, the developer of this game, just really, they didn't play nice in some areas of the game. We have a big old, lonely, shambling mound here, which Miri, I guess, got a little bit of information on. Interesting. Then we have a thing over here. I don't know if it's locked or not, but just in case. Alright, so we have some magic armor there. The body of a woman fouled beyond recognition. Her fingers still clench a torn leather leash. Alright, let's see what we found there in that loot. So we have found a magical chain shirt here. That would maybe be some nice armor for us. It's The only problem is that it's going to deal with our encumbrance pretty negatively, but maybe Lindsay might be able to wear it? Doesn't have much of an armor check penalty, so 25 pounds would still probably put her over the limit. Yeah. I want to keep her encumbrance low so that way she's not as likely to end up fatiguing over time. I mean, I guess if our strength were a bit higher, we could go with the chain shirt for now, but yeah. This might be something that we just need to go ahead and sell when we get back to a merchant, because I don't think that we can do it without the encumbrance factor. And in all honesty, it may not be the biggest deal anyway because they're ranged characters. So I think we picked this up here from that encounter. A lab journal. So this is a bit lengthy and I don't want to go through all the books and journals and reading them through, but I will go ahead and scroll through them so that way if you want to pause it and read it, then you can go ahead and do that. So from what I'm reading here, some kind of experiment that this lady was doing, I suppose. And so I can only assume that for what this experiment is, or this journal is detailing, is something about that that shambling mound that's over there. So yeah, over here, that's basically going to give you the indication that that mound, that big old fleshy mound, is what's being referred to in this journal. So you get a little bit of backstory, I guess, to the lonely shambling mound that is ever so lonely and by itself. I guess I don't know exactly how the well, maybe the journal kind of details it. So yeah, I guess we don't exactly know how the person in the journal died. Maybe the shambling mound killed them some way, or maybe they went into a rage from their experiment of some kind. I don't know, but the journal gives, I guess, just a little bit of a history behind this little mound over here. And it looks pretty tough, so I won't fight it now. Maybe I can save my game and try and fight it and see if I can defeat it. And I guess in a way, it would be a way to go ahead and, I guess, just put them out of their misery and end their suffering. Because I assume that the mound used to be someone that was human. So be a way to sort of put them out of their misery. So we'll come back to the shambling mound in a bit here, and maybe see if we want to fight them or not. Do not succeed on the nature check. Okay, well, that happens. See, this one calls for a mobility check. I guess we kind of triggered a thing here. So I guess we can go with our ranged weapons. Does Valerie have one? She does. Alright, well it's time to swap to ranged weapons so that way we can at least try and hit these guys with all of our characters. Let's get them. Looks like there's some kind of shaman doing a number on him from over there. Yeah, it'd be kind of nice if we weren't all the way over here when we have to go all the way back around in order to get to the fight. It's kind of disappointing, but oh well. get over here somewhere and fight some of these kobolds. I shoot them. Yeah, I'm just not anywhere near close enough. I suppose if I could use mobility to get down there, then I could get down there quicker. Okay, well, maybe that's what I should have done in the first place, is trying to mobility check my way over there. But the fight was ongoing, so I didn't want to try and do it in the middle of the battle, I suppose. Let's give you a bit of mobility and see if you can attempt this. I suppose Lindsay is actually technically better, so it might automatically pick her for it. Let's go ahead and quick save it here. Hopefully we can quick save in combat. See if we can get use mobility to get down there. Okay. Let's get in the fight and take care of the shaman. And it looks like they're going off and disappearing into the depths of the old Sycamore. And finding more kobolds to do battle with in their civil war. And we found a scroll of magic missile. That will be quite nice if we can find someone that can use that. I guess technically Lindsay can try and cast it, but she has to make a DC for it and can't cast it with a spell slot to do some massive damage or something like that. Alright, so let's go ahead and save our game once again here. See, can we get back up there? We can, and we get some more experience points for succeeding on the check. Do we have to succeed on the mobility check to get back down there and save ourselves some time? I guess we succeeded anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter, but let's explore down here a little bit. Again, I like to explore around a bit to see if I can find anything by way of perception checks. Any kinds of interesting little fragments of items or any kind of special loot. Let's back you up a little bit as much as we can. Mira, you back up too and get out of there. Looks like Kareem's taking a hit or two here. Yeah, from what I remember before, these frogs and their stats, they shouldn't be too difficult to beat, but our characters just do not have a very high chance to hit right now. We didn't really build our character around DPS so far at this point, and we haven't really gotten them fleshed out yet to get them going with a weapon of some kind. A melee weapon, I mean. So once we've gained some feats and some ways to power up our offense, we'll certainly do a better job of hitting things. Okay, can we find anything anywhere here in the water? Oh, looks like we have something here that looks kind of tough. A tassel worm. So yeah, they've got a bit of hit points to them, and looks like they can give and take some hits. Halfway decent AC, so we'll need to, again, Valerie, you get in front there and do your thing. And I think that we'll be fine without buffing for now. But if things get hairy, I can switch. What are you doing, Kareem? Get over there. I guess... Come on, get over there. I guess Amiri can switch to her melee weapon, because otherwise if you use a ranged weapon in melee range, then you provoke an attack of opportunity with the Pathfinder 1st edition rules. And it looks like she succeeded on a fortitude save against some poison, which is nice that she did. Now get over there. Her AC is not very high, unfortunately, and she's not fighting defensively. So yeah, as you can see there, Amiri just dropped like a sack of bricks when she got aggroed, so, because, again, you have to AC tank in this game. It's just an unfortunate reality, and even if she was raging, her temporary hit points from that would not be enough to save her. Okay. Well, so Amiri took some abuse there, and took some hits that took her out. So we're going to have to heal her.
Yes.
4 hit points is not good enough. 9 hit points is much better. Save 1 spell slot in case we want to cast something like Grease at some point. And then, yep, I guess for some weird reason they have some gems on them. I don't know if that's something that some kinds of monsters collect, but there you have it. Finding some loot around here. Whenever you encounter a dead body, it's a good time to just go ahead and save the game. Because then you do not know what is around the corner. So we found another fragment of a necklace, and then now a fragment of an arrow. Interesting. Now our party is overloaded and can't travel, but that only applies if we leave this area map. Or if we leave the, if we try to leave the old Sycamore area and go to the world map, then it will enforce the overloaded rules on us. And then we received also a crumpled letter here. So we have a crumpled letter here. So, I guess it talks a little bit about the Stolen Lands here, which is the area that we're in. And so, we have, yeah, just a little bit of, I guess, maybe background info here. I'm not sure if the name Agneth Bregan is going to be relevant to us, but it's an interesting little letter. It's an interesting little letter here to kind of add to the setting of the game and the, you know, the backdrop there. And I guess you guys can go ahead and, you know, again, read it if you want to, and pause the game if you want to read all of it. I might go back and read it a bit. I might go back and read some of the stuff I collected in this map when I get to an appropriate, maybe, stopping point to read through some of the things that I found. Well, we killed the Kobold Sentinel pretty fast. Looks like Kareem is getting himself hit again a little bit more. The Kobold Alchemist does not sound good. We definitely want to get rid of him as soon as possible. Please kill him. No, don't move up there. Don't. Please kill him. Heal him immediately, please. Let's get you guys out of the range of his breath. There we go, we finally got him. So yeah, sometimes the character's actions or the pathfinding or them just doing silly things can be a bit frustrating in combat with the movement. Such is life with a real-time with pause game, especially when things like opportunity attacks are a thing and many area of effect abilities and spells are prominent. Yeah, real-time with pause definitely had fewer drawbacks of a game like Baldur's Gate or the Infinity Engine RPGs with Baldur's Gate games, the Icewind Dale games, and Planescape Torment to an extent. All those games tended to function better with real-time with pause in some ways because there weren't opportunity attacks, at least to my understanding, back then in those old rules. Opportunity attacks simply weren't a thing in the written rules yet. And Pathfinder 1st Edition was based on 3.5 rules of D&D. Dungeons & Dragons 3rd Edition with the 3.5 sort of rule books that you can get. Well, thankfully the rain cleared up, so at least our perception checks aren't going to be hurt anymore. I mean, it seems to be raining a lot for us lately. It was raining before we rested, and now after we rest it's raining again. So, like, I don't know if the weather is, like, completely random, but, yeah, it's been raining quite a bit. We might want to heal Harim here, but it may not even be worth it. If he goes down, he goes down. We might heal him if we feel like we need to, but we don't want to run out of healing just yet so early. And I mean, we could always go ahead and have him use a ranged weapon instead. And at least he can add his strength to a damage roll if he happens to hit. Again, going with the quick save. Go get him, Valerie. Show him your stuff. Apparently Valerie even just got hit, so that's not good. He's supposed to be the one person who doesn't get hit. I don't know, maybe it was close to a critical hit, so... Usually early on it's difficult for most enemies to hit Valerie, and they usually have to hit her with a critical hit. Since a natural 20 will automatically hit, it won't result in critical hit damage automatically. Pathfinder 2nd Edition rules, they use this thing called critical hit confirmation. So if you want to deal critical hit damage, then you have to confirm the critical hit by rolling pretty well again on an attack roll type thing. There are some feats that can make it easier to confirm critical hits, I think, or things like that. But, yeah, critical hits are more just for making sure you can hit your enemy a lot of the time. And then just adding a lot of damage modifiers on your attack. So let's see, we have mobility once again. Let's just go ahead and heal some people here, we might as well. Alright, 4 hit points, and then I guess you can use your channel positive energy, get some hit points back. A bit of a yawning action here. It is a bit late for me, but sometimes it's no good to try and go to sleep if you can't really get to sleep. So, all right. So let's see if we can get up here and climb it. And we are successful. She just barely got there for us. Okay, so what do we find up here? Looks like some more things reliant on a trickery check. Okay, so we found a rapier and some cooking meat. Quick save it for what I imagine will be some lockpicking. Alright, well she got there on the first one. Let's see if she can get there on the second one. The quick save because I'm a coward that doesn't like the lockpicking mechanics in this game. And so we have a wand and a club here. Which, oddly enough, they don't look too different in appearance, but, you know what? Maybe that's just in the eye of the beholder. So, Wand of Lead Blades. All melee weapons you are carrying when the spell is cast deal damage as if in one size category larger. Okay, so if we have, someone like a Miri might be able to, we might be able to cast it on a Miri using that wand. I guess Lindsay can use the wand of a skill check to try and maybe buff a Miri up a little bit. And I don't think that we're going to use the club. I don't think there's anyone that we have that would really want to make use of it. And then a quick save in case we need to do some mobility check things to get back down. I don't think that we do. I think usually if it doesn't have a DC there, then you automatically succeed on it when you get back down. Or when you make your way back down here. I think that when you fail on things like some mobility and athletics checks for things like that, I think it causes your entire party to take damage. I have no idea why it causes the entire party to take damage, not just one. The one that fails the check, but you know, it's just, again, the way that the game mechanically works. That's just the way it works for some reason, I guess, as a repercussion, I guess, in case you fail. So that's why I use like guidance before making any you know, skill checks and stuff, so that way I have a better chance of succeeding and not screwing up on it. But the bad thing, though, about failing on a skill check like that is that since it does damage to your entire party, if all of your party is low on health and you don't save your game, then it could end up killing you and then you have to reload a previous save. So that's kind of one of the things I've learned, is that you gotta just make sure to save often so that way you can backtrack if things go wrong. Okay, looks like we have some mites and kobolds here that aren't fighting, so this is an interesting interesting scene that we have here, where it's like cats and dogs living in harmony. It's like, what's going on here? An oversized mite approaches you. He raises his bald blue head with dignity, and his neck is decorated with tag locks and a wolf's fang pendant. To his right walks a kobold, also swelling with conceit. So we got some prideful creatures over here. Welcome, Peacestone! Here no war, no one attack. Only maybe Fat Wolf Lord. He want chew us, we more sly. We who kill him, big reward. Ward! Ward! What did you say about wolves again? Near Long Tree live Pack Big Wolf. Big angry. Tell Mite and Kobold bad thing. We maybe kill him easy, but war take hunters away. Fine, I'll kill the wolf leader for you if they're trying to disturb you so much. And trying to... Again, I don't know how threatening or evil this wolf is, but we'll take care of him. The leader of the hunters nods at you solemnly. Oh, so who are you guys? Peaceful might and kobold hunt together was easy. Many might, many kobold hunt together. Now not. Sad face. Not like this. Why are you not fighting each other? War! Bad. Puddles blood. Scream loud. Might and kobold dead. Cold. Why fight? Dangerous. Hairy wolf around. The mite shakes his head helplessly. Wise words! I think many people, not just mites and kobolds, could learn something from these creatures. Bah! Cowards, all of them! After a short pause, the mite pats his neighbor on the back. But we no fool. Go and befriend. No one to war. But Miss Queen Bada. Big beauty. Miss Beauty? The kobold scratches his head, baffled. So I guess, just a little bit of a creak of my water bottle there. But yeah, I guess these guys kind of got the, they got the hint, they got the big picture that, you know, fighting isn't really something that's really, you know, prudent here. I mean, it's, you know, peace seems a lot better to try and solve your differences, especially when, you know, the mites claimed their innocence, and kobolds thought that they took some relic, and mites say no. Excuse me, and I guess the kobolds didn't really have any hard proof that they took it. They just, Tartuk or whoever's told them that mites took it, so yeah, I guess it must be true. So yeah, I guess if they had proof that the mites took it, or they saw them take it, caught them red-handed, then, you know, it could be understandable that they're at war, but these guys, they see the light. They see the wisdom. Could be an evil dickhead and try and, I guess, attack them, but I'm not going to do that, because, I mean, I'm a paladin, alright? I'm not going to go ahead and do that, and even though a paladin would probably be like, you're evil scum, you should die, I'm not going to do that. And I suppose I'll go, and maybe I'll be able to take care of that wolf, or as it says there, a warg. Wargs, from my understanding, at least from my time playing Dungeons and Dragons, wargs are evil, you know, quite evil, at least by creature sort of beast standards that are quite evil. So won't have any qualms killing a warg. As I sipped on my my water there, let's find out what's in these bags. We have a potion and some more loot. We have some potatoes. Potato. There we go. And I guess they don't mind me, you know, taking some things that we might need. Some cooking ingredients, some food for our journey. A very important journey it is. And I guess we found something there, which I'm assuming it looks like it's in the shape of a chest, so we might as well go ahead and do this. Do some guidance and see if Lindsay can go ahead and open it. The tab key is very useful for highlighting these things that are very hard to see. And she successfully picks the lock and finds some nice things in here. We have some potions. Shield of Faith and Mage Armor could be some useful things for my character, if I wanted to go and AC tank with them a bit later. And then there's some general loot and gems and stuff that we can sell later. So we already dealt with that chest. So I think that's maybe all we can find over in this area. Let's go ahead and pause the game real quick and check our map screen. You can use the hotkey to check it pretty easily. So we haven't... we've only explored maybe about half of the map here. We have an area over there that we haven't gone to yet that we can go check out. So I guess we'll circle around and go through the right part of the map over here. Oh, I guess we missed something over there. Alright, we find some more. Another gem is over there. Will we find anything else over here? Right, so I guess we won't find anything else over there for now. Let's continue on and explore this side of the map. See, I've been over there already. I don't know if there's anything to catch over here with perception checks. Let's do another run through over here, okay? Yeah, once you get far enough, you can kind of just skip going that direction ever again if you want. Once you feel like you've found everything there is to find. Right, so we've explored over here on the map. There's a place we can go into, but I think we want to explore the rest of this area first. Alright, looks like we have some more elks that we can hunt. Let's get you two back there, and get you back there as well. And let's give it a good old quick save and have Valerie, our very courageous warrior, and have them, and let's go and hunt some elk. Yeah, eventually if you attack enough, you're bound to get a decently high roll on your attack roll. When you have so many characters, you're bound to roll high once in a while and hit them. Alrighty. Time for another guidance on our dear barbarian Amiri. Let's quick save it. After we won that glorious battle and hunted. Alright, 2 out of 3 ain't bad for the skins there, or for the hides. Obviously, if you wanted to, you could go ahead and save scum to get the best possible results with skinning for hides, but for the purposes of this Let's Play, I'm going to, roll with skill check failures as much as I can. The ones like the failed mobility and athletics checks that deal damage to your entire party are ones that obviously I'm going to try and re-roll when possible. And things like failed disarming checks obviously can have some repercussions if you automatically set off a trap. Because you can set off traps from rolling too low on your trickery roll to disarm them. Alright, let's do a quick save here. No. Let's have you do that one first then, if you're going to go all the way around the rock to get it. And this is why I like to save my game, because of situations like this. So Lindsay triggered the trap because she rolled too low on the check. So and now our characters are running around like idiots, and things are going kind of haywire here. And I mean, again, will saving throw failed. So yeah, that's Kind of sucks that my paladin keeps on getting scared here, and there's really nothing that we can do here. We're just kind of between a rock and a hard place here, because when it's a fear effect, they don't even stand in there and fight. But with debuffs, with debuffing effects, they just run around like an idiot, and they hardly even do anything. So, see, like, look how they just keep on running around like idiots. Like, what are you doing? You're kind of moonwalking in place there. Like, yeah, that's really done a number on us. And there aren't really any spells that I can cast or use right now that seem all that helpful to us. Yeah, so I'm kind of getting the crap kicked out of me here. And that is why I don't like having to deal with resurrecting companions. I just have them rise after combat. In that scenario, we'd have to resurrect 2 people. We wouldn't even be able to resurrect them. They would be dead, I think. Or they'd be unconscious, or whatever it is. Things would be extremely difficult if you didn't have the dead companions rise after combat option checkmarked for you. Alright, so, I mean, I can go ahead and try and do trickery on this one, I guess. I could just reload my game, but since I at least won the fight, I think I'm just going to continue here. And try not to save scum too much on things. Obviously, though, that fight would have been tremendously easier if I had happened to disarm these traps successfully and then maybe sneak up on them and just totally ambush them. And also it's kind of nice that if you succeed on it, then you get more experience points, and you can get closer to leveling up your characters here. Alright, well, another trap spotted there, so we're going to be slowed down a bit more here, but I might as well just do this at least. So switch you back to a ranged weapon there, and yeah, and the main reason I don't want to try and save scum too much is because then these areas will take even longer than they usually would, and I already take a pretty long time progressing through areas in my Let's Play type style. I'm a pretty thorough and maybe slow going sort of Let's Player, so I like to be very thorough and explore everything that I can. Right, looks like we have their camp here. Got some milk, some more cooking ingredients, a trinket, and some magical leather armor, as luck would have it. So let's go ahead and equip that right away, since that's something that we can go ahead and use. I guess we'll have Lindsay equip it. Where is it? There it is. Now she's got a bit more armor class working for her. We're not going to equip it because we can already benefit pretty well from the bracers. I like how you can kind of stand over the fire and it just doesn't do anything to you. It's just like, hey, look at me, I'm just standing on a campfire here. No fire damage, no nothing, but I mean, there still is a good amount of attention to detail by the developers, but some other things they just kind of skimped out on, maybe for convenience, or maybe they didn't want you having to deal with walking through a fire and have it being uber realistic or something like that. Be kind of annoying to deal with, I guess, so... And we have another skill check here, and some of our people are low on hit points, so I don't want to risk our party getting smashed in the face, so we're going to do this is one of those times where we will save and reload if we have to. Or no, not her. Well, I guess he should see. She kind of, I guess... She failed her athletics check, but nothing bad came of it, so... I guess that's okay-ish. Next time I'll have to do it with a Miri. Looks like we have what looks like a very big elk over here. It's not hostile towards us, so we can leave it alone if we really want to. But knowing me and that I like to do a bit of hunting here, I might just go for it. Looks like we have wolves over here. No, Harim, that is not a good place for you to be, my friend. And he hasn't activated fighting offensively yet, so it's likely he'll get hit once. Come on, man, you gotta... Unfortunately, to fight defensively, you have to make an attack first before it activates, and there he goes. So if you're not able to get an attack off in time, then fighting defensively will not activate and give you that AC bonus. And so enemies can be kind of smart to try and get away from your frontliners and try and get to the back line, which will have a harder time trying to deal with melee attackers, especially when they provoke opportunity attacks with ranged attacks, or like when using a ranged weapon or making a ranged attack of some kind. Alright, do a quick save here, and then we're going to do the guidance and try and have Amiri skin some of their hides. Only one, but, you know, I'll take it. Every little bit helps, honestly. Elk hide, and then wolf hide, where is it? Hidden in a sea of all this junk here. Well, not really junk, but sea of stuff. Huh, I'm not sure if I'm even finding the wolf hide in my inventory. I could just be blind and I'm just completely missing it, but yeah, it's probably around here somewhere. I'm just not finding it. Oh well. I wanted to see how much it was worth and see if it had like a flavor description of it, but I think we'll be okay. And our little animal companion is like making like a big roar pose. A nice little touch by the developers to add in little animations and actions for our animal companions over there. More elk over here. I think that we shall continue with the hunt. Gather up some more meat and hides for selling to Oleg, I imagine. Alright, well that certainly went okay-ish. Alright, so we want to go ahead and skin them once again. Alright, we got 1 out of 2 there. And one thing you'll notice is that Harem does not have the hearty meal saving throw bonus anymore. Whenever they take enough damage, or whenever a character takes enough damage to permanently die under normal circumstances, then some of those bonuses from like resting bonuses or bonuses that they would have from like a spell that has a long duration, it will end on them and it will no longer be present when they get back up. So that's one incentive to keep your characters healed up as much as possible so that way they don't get downed, is to make sure that all the buffing effects on them stay active for as long as possible and that they don't lose them. Let's see, so we're up here and we can eventually go over there towards that area that we haven't explored yet. Check around here and see if there's anything I can find with perception. Otherwise, I might just head back to that area that we have not visited yet. I think there might have been... well, we can go and hunt these things first after checking this out. Another coin. So I think there was like a big elk-looking thing over here, so it might be worth buffing up before deciding to fight these beasts that we're going to hunt. So let's do the proper amount of buffing up here. I think we want to do guidance first on people. And maybe resistance on Dowry in case there's some kind of saving throw that they force, maybe, I don't know. I don't think that they force any saving throws. I think it's combat maneuvers are what most creatures usually use instead of forcing a saving throw with an attack. Let's have him go through this song and dance for us. It probably won't make much of a difference. But the beginning of the fight will hopefully be a bit easier to deal with. Alright, we have the battle tune going to inspire us, and now we will go ahead and do a non-quick save here, since we're fighting an important foe here. We'll leave this in case we want to go ahead and backtrack a bit. So we'll go ahead and do the save here. Alright, now let's go ahead and hunt. Alright, let's kill this big guy as soon as we can. Come on, you guys, you can get him. Lindsay is taking a hit or two. Harem, get in there and let's see if you can help out Lindsay here. He's still fighting defensively. I forgot to turn that off while he's using a ranged weapon. I guess I wished I would be able to swap between like fighting defensively could be active with a melee weapon, and then when you switch to a ranged weapon it turns it off by default. So it would be kind of nice if it did that. Let's go Alyrra out of there. Miri, you get out of there too. I guess Harem went down, so I think it's time for you to get in there. Charge! Alright. And you go ahead and switch to your short sword. There's not much that we can do right now, but we'll try. least Lindsay, with her dexterity, has a halfway decent armor class. Now you can switch back to your crossbow. There we go. I think we can go ahead and get by without the inspiration now. Okay. Well, we won the fight, but not after having to lick our wounds a little bit here, because we took quite a bit of punishment and quite a bit of damage. So, I do think that this is still a victory, though, so I will definitely go ahead and just save my game here. And then let's go ahead and do the good old guidance and see if we can go ahead and get some hides here. Well, we got the most important one, I guess, but still only got 1 out of 3, I think, so. Then we have this one over here. Okay. Alright, so we got 2 out of 4 there, as far as hides go. Let's see, I think there were some wolves over here that we could fight, so we'll go ahead and do a quick save. I'm not going to heal for now because Valerie does have some hit points left and she's our main tank, so if they get to the back lines we're in a bit of trouble, but that would probably be the case even if we restored our hit points. Alright, you guys, hold up your shields and deflect their bites. Alright, you can do it. There we go. Alright, and I guess once again we want to go ahead and get our... Whoops. Yeah, if you click on this by accident, the encumbrance icon notifier thingy, it takes you to the inventory screen for some reason. It shouldn't. It's annoying, but for some reason it does. Because it's like, yeah, you told me that I'm encumbered. I don't need to go to the inventory screen for you to tell me that, so... Alright, let's see how many I get this time. Alright, 3 out of 4. Wolf pelts worth 10 gold, so that's pretty good. Maybe now that I remember what it looks like, maybe I'll be able to find it on here somewhere in my inventory. There it is, it's at the bottom. Don't know if I was just missing it earlier, or maybe I just failed to pick it up and I just need to rewatch the footage and I'm an idiot, but yep, there are the wolf pelts. Okay, so a hidden stash over there with a potion. We might just end up selling the potion and not using it, because potions take up a good bit of weight if you just hold on to way too many of them. See if we can find anything amongst the nature bushes and stuff over here. Don't think we're going to find anything else over there. Alright, let's get in formation here. I guess it's over here. There's some dark area here. And it looks like we have some things over here. I mean, I guess we were told that we would go ahead and take care of some wargs for the the mites and the kobolds who don't want to fight each other, so I wonder if this is maybe what they're referring to, because we have non-hostile wolf-looking creatures here. The beast before you is unusually large, and its eyes especially angry. Its menacing grin might almost be taken for a smirk. Greetings, traveler. Before you draw your weapon, I wish to say I see no reason for feuding between us. We might even be of some use to each other. Wait! Why is this wolf talking? Is it magical or something? I am no wolf, female. I am a warg. Surprising you could live to your age without learning the difference. Well, it's never too late to teach a lesson to an insolent two-legged morsel. The beast slowly licks its teeth. Who are you calling a morsel, you pelt? Amiri glares at the beast with her hand on her sword. Okay, you say we can be useful to each other. Not that I really care, but I figured I might as well ask. Bring me someone delicious. 3 or 4 bodies will be enough. And I, as a sign of gratitude, will tell you where an old traveler buried his chest. An old traveler, you say? A very old, lean, and flavorless traveler. The warg grins, almost smiling. I guess warg there was misspelled, and I guess their spell check and proofreading maybe just didn't catch that, I guess. So you can agree to do it if you're evil, and you can also go ahead and just give them a purely neutral response that they're not going to get in the way of interfering with the warg and their ability to hunt, and their ability to just take care of this task themselves. If they're hungry and they want fresh meat on the menu, they can do it themselves and do their own dirty work. But I'm just going to go ahead and tell them that I just don't have any interest in this arrangement. Sorry, I'm a paladin. I'm not going to go kill someone just because you tell me to. But on the other hand, we did offer to do the task for the mites and the kobolds, saying the wargs were bothering them. But again, this seems like a very evil, mean-spirited wolf, how they were licking their chops at the idea of, the idea of coming after us and the traveler that they're talking about. Well, as you wish, but consider my offer. You may yet think of something. So who are you, then? You may call me Garuk. I've lived here far longer than the rulers of those foolish tribes. I have seen much and eaten many. What do you know of the war between the kobolds and the mites, then? Only that my pack enjoys it. The warg snorts and licks his lips. Of course, I only eat fresh meat. Alrighty then, so I can go ahead and attack him, or her, or whatever it is. I could. First two of that is a him, so I guess this is a he that we're. Yep. So we have, looks like some kind of like pack leader warg. So we're just going to go ahead and leave here. And we are so low on health, we aren't really in a condition to fight these guys. I could try and fight them and power up. So I guess I'll go ahead and make a save slot here for this. So that way I can go ahead and fight them here. Or at least attempt to fight them and see if I can potentially do it. Okay, then. What do I want to buff up with? Well, let's go with guidance first, and maybe a bit of resistance in case I need it. casting guidance first because I'm very likely to use it at the start of combat with an attack roll when everyone makes their first attack. Oh, excuse me. Looks like I have a case of the hiccups, so give me a moment while I pause the game and I deal with that for a second. Alright, I have returned from my hiccup fiasco there, where the hiccups were kind of interrupting me there, and they're kind of hard to deal with on the spot, and I didn't want to have you all to have to wait for me to deal with that. But while we were away, I just paused the game real quick so that way I could power up for a potential battle here while I dealt with my hiccups. I figured I'd save some time and just do that so that way you dear viewers didn't have to sit through all the powering up this time around. And all of my preemptive spells with resistance, guidance, some temporary hit points, some bless, all kinds of stuff that's really going on here. And Inspired Courage is going. And then I'm going to go ahead and start combat by casting a couple spells. I'm going to cast Grease here to start out with, so that way maybe these wolves here can get caught up in the grease and fall down and make it a bit easier on us. And then I'm also going to cast Bane, so that way I might need to move him up a little bit more for this, but we're going to go ahead and cast Bane here. Let's go ahead and quick save it here. We're going to go ahead and quick cast Bane to try and target these guys and lower their saving throws. Alright, now the battle is started. So let's see what we can do here. I might glitter dust them in a moment. Right now you've got Inspired Competence going on. Let's get Valerie going up in there and see what we can do. Alright, let's go ahead and since we have all the spells cast that we want to cast, let's go ahead and save the game one more time. Might as well. And then let's start it for real this time. No, not you. No, we don't need you going in there. We'll have Valerie talk to her. Your words will not save you, monster. You monstrous warg. We cannot leave such a dangerous animals to live in our future lands. Slay the beast! Good. I love fresh meat. Now the battle has begun. Let's get Valerie out of the range of the grease and see if we can go ahead and cast some glitter dust here. Nope. What are you doing, Harim? You get out of there. You're not really qualified to deal with these kinds of opponents. Oh, never mind. There's a wolf that came out of nowhere over here. So I guess we are going to need you. What? Okay. That's nice, I guess. Let's see if we can catch them in the glitter dust and not catch Valerie in it. I think we still want you to go over here and I guess get this wolf. While you guys just sit back and again, you guys are not qualified to hang in melee with these guys. Valerie is the only one that's probably up to the task here. Let's try and get you out of there before they kill you. Mallory's getting kind of swarmed there, but she's holding her own with her super high AC here. 28 AC. Yeah, so it's very hard to be able to hit her without getting a natural 20. And they use the maneuver on her to trip my character here, who's trying to run away. And then it might be worth using Glitter Dust and just hitting Valerie, so that way I can hit more wolves with it. Come on. Stop the madness. I think we definitely want to go ahead and take care of the big one first, and let the other spells take care of, or try and let the other spells take care of things here. Let's just go for... Let's go for these wolves here first, since she's running around like an idiot. Alright, and she's running out of Inspire Competence. Yeah, Inspire Courage, sorry. So she's running out of Inspire Courage there with her aura. Is there anything we want to do? I guess Harem can True Strike later when we have just the alpha male warg there. I guess we could smite evil on the big bad warg. Let's go ahead and end that, and then we can save the last bit of it for when we want to try and finish off Garruk there. So yeah, they're trying to go ahead and trip. Trying to go ahead and trip everyone here. Alright, let's go ahead and go after that wolf then. I think Garruk is kind of glitched out there because he's trying to get past these three creatures here, and they're unable to do so right now, and so there's no path for them to go. Miri might as well switch to her sword now that the wolf is trying to eat her. So let's just try and crowd a little bit around here. You, Valerie, you try and hang in there as best you can, I guess. And Miri will try and get some damage going in there. Let's try and hit the one that's on the ground. Yep, that's not a good place for you. Yeah, she's tripped and likely going down, so I think we gotta try and do our best to take care of Garruk here. Kill her, kill him, kill the alpha male. Oh, Valerie is very close to going down. We have a couple of healing potions here. They're probably going to be worth using. Let's just go ahead and use a healing potion here. Okay, she's tripped. Okay, well, she got tripped, and that was the end of that. Garruk has some super high modifiers, and I guess Valerie's armor class was low for some reason. Usually it's a 28. So yeah, we bit the dust there. I guess I'm not really surprised. We are only level 2, I believe, so we might need to gain another level before trying to fight them, and maybe by then we'll be able to succeed in dealing with this evil warg. It's one of those enemies that the game tells you sometimes that there's going to be elements of the game that are going to be too difficult for you to take care of at your current level. And we are only level 2 right now, so I think that we need to gain one more level before we can feasibly take care of the wargs over there. But I mean, we gave it our best shot. We pumped everything that we have into that combat, and we were actually doing fairly good until Valerie was getting tripped at the end. We might have been able to defeat them. Maybe if we had focused down Garuk first, we might have done better, and so maybe next time we'll try that. And I guess we can hear the sound effects of the shambling mound back over here. And the shambling mound, I guess, is the same thing. It's probably an enemy that's too strong for us to fight right now, but if we gain a level or 2 while we're in this area, then we could consider, again, putting it out of its misery and ending its suffering, whatever suffering it might be going through. Oh, what is this? We have some flowers. This calls for a quick save, because I sense a conversation is coming. I guess let's talk to the shaman of the group and see what they have to say about all this. A kobold lying in the middle of the patch calls out to you. Judging by the sorry state of his scales, he is the eldest of the group. His red eyes squint from the light, and his throat struggles to form words. Our patch, our celestial radish. Yick! Radishes! We grew them back in my village. One day, while I was reading a book, my pa grabbed it from me and threw it into the fire. Then he made me go pick radishes. It was autumn, and the ground was wet and cold, and there were worms everywhere. Ugh, filthy roots. So we can just leave quietly and try and just take some roots with us while we're there. But I'm not going to do that. Let's see, what are you doing here then? What are these radishes all about? Choose a radish. Search for secret truth. Small and big. The kobolds who are lying nearby answer with a devout murmur. At least those who aren't sleeping. Huh. Little philosophers, aren't they? Wouldn't expect that. Wouldn't expect. Why don't you join the war against the mites? I mean, yeah, there is a war going on. I guess maybe it passed them by while they were just kind of laying here on the, with the patch of radishes. Might silly, but suit scale also. There are more important things in life. The kobold punctuates his words with a burp, and the others hiss in approval. Yeah, so you have a really evil kind of evil asshole type option here to send them in the direction of the wargs, and I guess this is a way to kind of complete the evil side of that quest, to where you can just feed them to the wargs, I guess, and give the wargs a meal and maybe gain some experience points out of it. Maybe they reward you with that thing that they were telling you about with the old traveler, but I'm sure that we don't need the wargs' help to find the old traveler anyway, so we're not going to do any of that. And you can also just attack them and be like, we don't want you here. But we'll ask them about the radish that they're talking about. The oldest kobold lifts his head from the ground and tries to focus his eyes on you. So I'll just go and we'll talk about something else for now, and we will use some guidance to guide my my paladin's words here before doing this skill check. Or at least a situation that may call for one, I suppose. And then we'll quick save it here in case something goes terribly wrong or something like that. Alright, so we're pretty good at diplomacy here. So there are enough radishes out here for everyone. You mustn't forbid others from using what grows freely in the forest. I will dig out as much as I need. Can I put diplomacy to use for more, you know, neutral perspective? And we succeeded. The old kobold remained silent for a time, wrinkling his forehead. Finally, lifting a finger solemnly, he announces, "You chew, and let chew!" Pleased with his verdict, he turns over on his side. Other kobolds break out into the delighted hissing. So we got some experience points here. We got moon radishes. And I can just time to go and on to other things. I guess we made a very diplomatic choice there with the kobolds, and it's just like, you know what? I mean, there's enough radishes out here for everyone. We'll take whatever we need here, and there's no reason to restrict us and not let us have any. I mean, you know, live and let live, chew and let chew. So where are the radishes? There's another thing that we found, the token of the Dryad, so we can, again, give that to a collector like we can with these old coins and get some rewards out of that later on. Kind of hard to dig through the inventory sometimes when you have quite a few things looted from everywhere. There they are, moon radish. So we have a moon radish, and yeah, so these are the moon radishes for Balkan. So we found some, and we got some for Balkan, so when we get back to the trading post, we'll be able to give those to him. So yeah, they attracted kobolds, just like the quest log indicated, I suppose, and so you follow the kobolds that are lying on the ground, and you find moon radishes to profit and give the Balkan. I guess maybe it's used as some kind of relaxation device. Maybe it eases their mind. Maybe it's some kind of, whoa, I don't know what the heck's going on there. Looks like they're climbing up a tree all of a sudden. But yeah, I'm not sure what the moon radishes are necessarily, if they're some kind of, again, mind-easing drug of some kind that they use to just relax. Okay, now we have something over here. We saw some bags, which mean generally treasure and loot. So we need to go explore over here and see if we can find where we can get up there. There we are. So we have a mobility check to make, so that's Lindsay's wheelhouse here. And let's do another quick save here. We've diplomatically gotten the moon radishes, and now we shall quick save. And she is successful. I will do another quick save. Looks like there's a mobility check to climb back down the hill. And looks like, no, I don't want to go to the inventory there. I just want to go ahead and use some guidance. And then I want to go ahead and have Lindsay go ahead and take care of this chest over here. And works like a charm. She is successful once again. A heavy pick, which seems to do quite a bit of critical hit damage modifier there, as you can see. Some weapons with the critical hit modifiers work a bit differently than others. Exotic weapons, for example, can end up having better critical hit modifiers than normal weapons, along with possibly doing more damage than normal weapons. Looks like we have mice over here, which could be indicative of another scripted event going on. So what's going on over here? We have mites that are gathered. You go, Queen. Do you see her? Okay. Yeah, let's go over here then. And this, oh, just in the nick of time, we spotted what looks like a trap. I assume that the mites probably set that, with the intention of keeping the kobolds away from their queen and from their lair or cave or whatever they have. Alright, Lindsay, it's your time once again to deal with these traps and hopefully not get us caught up in them. Thankfully she succeeded. Alright. And there's another one. Okay then. Let's get our party members back there for a moment. Let's get Lindsay up here. And then Hareem, you can go over there. And guidance on her. Nope, you. There we go. Why is guidance not working on her? Why is guidance not working on her? I don't know, maybe it's because of the trap or spotting the trap or something, I don't know. Let's try it one more time over here. Like, I don't know if it's working or not, but oh well. I mean, we can get by without it, I suppose. Yeah, because perception check is a skill check, so if you had guidance on a character and then they would get a benefit to their perception check, and then guidance would end. She fails to pick the lock. Let's try again. And a trap has been triggered, and there's centipedes coming after us, so this will mean certain death for Lindsay, so I think I'm going to have to reload it one of the few times where I think I'm going to need to. So apparently there's a trap there, and there are also some centipedes that are out and about. I don't like to save scum like this, but I think with Lindsay caught out there and our party weak on health, it would have been a difficult ask to be able to do and take care of that. I don't really want to metagame here, so I'm just going to leave Valerie over there like she was, and then... Oh, well, I guess the decision is made for us. Harim, you get in there, and you get in there. I guess you guys get over here. I don't know why the mites aren't helping us after we aligned ourselves with them, but that's okay. Let's just get all the way back here and let the shield masters take care of this. He went down again. I guess that's not really surprising. His AC is not quite as potent as what the Valerie has. Okay. We keep on trying to get to our back lines here, but they kind of occasionally provoke opportunity attacks when they do that. Yep, there it is again. So yeah, sometimes we do get the benefit of when they try to get back to our back lines, they provoke opportunity attacks, and then Valerie or Harim or whoever's on the front gets a free attack on them. Unfortunately, since they tend to fight defensively, we don't have a high chance of hitting opportunity attacks, but at the very least we get them, and it's a free attack, so I'm not going to complain about that. But on the other hand, you do need usually at least 2 frontliners will do you well, and you need halfway decent AC for your backline party members. So that way, at least, if they end up getting targeted, then they don't go down right away, but that's not always possible. There are a lot of beasts over here. They're just kind of circling us. Alyrra, you get out of there. Might actually be a good fight to just go ahead and use some Bless here. Maybe some Inspired Competence. Alyrra, you can maybe get out your sword here and try and hold them off. Don't really care if Harim doesn't benefit from Bless since he's already down and out. Yeah, so Alyrra is supposed to be built as a frontliner, but because she doesn't have the armor class to compete in the front lines, usually I just have her use a bow. And at least with a composite longbow, Alyrra still gets a bonus to her damage rolls, so that's still some consolation that she gets a bonus in that way. So Alyrra, honestly, not bad with the composite longbow as far as damage goes. If she can connect, then she gets a bonus to the damage roll with a composite longbow. Gonna do a quick save here since we won the fight. Thankfully we didn't go down just yet. And we skinned all but one of them, so that's quite nice. We got rewarded pretty well there. Yeah, we're definitely overloaded, but as long as we don't attempt to leave the old Sycamore map to the world map, then we should be okay. Those are elk hides, cycling pelts. So they're not worth very much, but every little bit helps in this game. You definitely need all the money you can get, so I'm not going to argue with that. Some gas there. Don't know if you guys heard that, but yep, sometimes you have to deal with gas and bodily functions, so I apologize for that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and save our game again, because I just don't want to have to deal with setting off traps and having to deal with them. Alright, let's go and deal with this now. Alright, one down, and one more to go. Alright, we took care of the traps. That is good news. Let's see if there's anything else that's along the edge here that we might want to... we might get a perception check on or something like that we can find. Well, there's something up there if I can get up there. Maybe I'll go check down that in a minute. Looks like we have some little critters going out and about here. And then something hidden over here, another wand. Nice, and some alchemist fire. Alright. If nothing else, we can sell wands that we don't ever plan on using, or maybe this particular spell isn't very useful, so we can just sell the wands for those. And get some extra money out of those, because money is going to be, again, much needed in a game like this. When you get to the kingdom management and kingdom ruling type mechanics and stuff like that, which the game has already hinted at a number of times, and with the title of the game, you're definitely going to need all the money you can get. So taking stuff and just selling them and offloading them and getting as much money as you can does have a lot of uses, and it's not just for buying and selling items for you to use with your party. So that's why I'm going to be a bit of a item hoarder here, and just collect everything that I can and sell it all and get the most out of them. So what's this over here? The roots previously blocking the way were pulled apart by magic or some mechanism. Okay. So I guess this is where the mites make their home, inside the tree here. We saw something up there. I'm not sure if we can get up there. We can. All we have to do is just walk up there. Okay. Quick save it, because this seems like a little bit of a hidden area. I'm not sure if this is... Oh, okay. So it looks like we found a necklace of some kind, or an amulet. Amulet of natural armor. So this gives you a natural armor enhancement. Essentially, the easy way to put it is that is another way to add to your armor class. So it helps you to tank in particular. So we'll give it to her, and it helps out Valerie quite a bit with her armor class. And so natural armor enhancement, it could be something like, say, I think I have like a potion of bark skin here, which grants a natural armor bonus. So yeah, something like bark skin. I mean, I think that so yeah, I think that bark skin would stack with something like this, an amulet of natural armor. There's also a prestige class, which is like a sort of draconic focused prestige class that we went over in character creation. That I think that also can provide like a natural armor bonus boost if you can take that. Alright, so we've explored most of the map here. So let's see, these leave the area. Okay, and then down here I assume goes down to the kobold part of the caves, and then that will go to the mite portion of the caves. Alright, so I don't think that I'm missing anything here except for the wargs over there that I need to take care of for the mites and kobolds that are living in peace down there. And then there's a shambling mound over here that I can deal with later on, maybe. And again, put it out of its misery and its suffering. And then there's that one encounter that I showed over here with that Will-O-Wisp that feeds off of fear and is the beginner's trap of the game that can catch you off guard for sure. So down the road I might come back here and deal with that Will-O-Wisp and just kick his ass into Kingdom Come and show the game who's boss, but that will have to be for a later day in a later episode. So I think that we're coming to the end of this episode, I think. We're going to go in here into Old Sycamore and start exploring inside. This area took a bit while to complete, There was some combat encounters, some good bits of dialogue there. We found the mushrooms for Bakken, or the radishes, the moon radishes for Bakken. Unlocked another quest to deal with the warg band up there in the map, in the northeast. And so I think that this is probably a good stopping point for this episode. I've been, going quite a while with this episode, so I'll go ahead and save it real quick. And then next time when we continue, I will go ahead and probably heal up my party, since they're all very weak right now. And then after going ahead and giving them a bit of healing and, powering them up a little bit more, then I think we can just go and do that now and save ourselves a bit of time, I guess. And before we go, we'll go ahead and do a bit of healing. But I do appreciate everyone for sticking through with me, for anyone who's a regular viewer of this Let's Play. And I do appreciate, giving your time to, watch me play this game that I'm quite fond of, even though it has some of its faults and some of its, rustiness, some chinks in the armor, as it were. But all things considered, even though there are some blemishes against it, it's still a really nice game and a very sort of in-depth kind of RPG. Compared to some others. There's lots of dialogue choices. There's lots of dialogue choices that require skill checks, diplomacy, intimidation, some knowledge type checks occasionally come in handy, some alignment based dialogue choices. You can talk a lot with your NPCs when it's not time to do battle. You have lots of interjections from NPCs that can do some talking during certain events. And while you rest, obviously NPCs can have conversations with each other, and it varies depending on which combination of NPCs that you have. But yeah, we've gone through a lot in this episode, and I thank you all for joining me on this journey. It's been a lengthy one each episode, but I like it to where you can just sit back and grab your popcorn and sit in for a little bit, kind of like watching a lengthy 1 to 2 hour episode of a TV show every few days. So anyway, I'm going to head off here. It's getting a bit late for me, but thank you for joining me, and I hope that you all join me next time. And I hope you all take care of yourselves. Take care.